see you, brother.
Yeah, good to be here. Thank you, Abby.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
You can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I can indeed. I am Luke Joyce from the cleaning company.ie. We are Ireland's first subscription-based window cleaning and gutter cleaning company, and we're currently Ireland's largest residential window cleaning company. So I'm the managing director of that company. I started it a few years ago.
And how long did you start this company?
So it was part-time for a few years. Started it part-time kind of during college. So that would have been 2017. And then was kind of part-time for a few years, just getting me through college, and then went full-time in 2020.
How did you start it? Like, is that like overnight you make a decision, you're going to start your own cleaning company, or you plan it?
Yeah, I suppose I was always going to be self-employed since I was that height. There was no question. I was
7 years old or 4 years old?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Oh, 3 or 4. Okay.
I was always going to be self-employed. I knew that, and I suppose during school I was working kind of different jobs. Like, I come from a farm. We have a farm up in Dublin, even though I don't sound like it. I'm a farmer. So we've a beef farm in southwest Dublin on the kind of Tala Mountains. Okay. So I was always working hard and working on the farm, and my dad is an entrepreneur. He does a few different businesses, so I suppose got inspiration from him, that I was going to do my own thing. So then during school I used to do stuff with scrap and pallets and small things when I was a teenager before I could drive. So that kind of got me into it. And then during college I needed something for an extra few bob, and decided to do window cleaning because it was very easy to learn and needed very little money to get going.
And why did you start a cleaning company, not in other business? Like, you didn't follow your dad's step?
Yeah, I suppose he kind of turned me off the farm a bit because of the money in it isn't great. His other businesses was what made him his living. The farming, there was there's very little money in it. So you get money from grants and having the land and the stuff you can do with it, but he kind of turned me off that. So that's the kind of reason I didn't go down that route. Why window cleaning? I suppose, again, very easy. I needed €50 to start. It was €50 worth of equipment that I bought in Tala.
Could you take us, how did you start the business?
How did I start it? Yeah, so I started YouTube and how to clean windows, because I suppose the thing that tweaked it was I was hearing my mum lives in Rackcool, and in that area I kept hearing that it's very hard to find a window cleaner. None of them could find window cleaners, and I was like, how can I find window cleaners? Like, it's a really easy job to do. So none of them could find any of them in the estate. They're all struggling to find a window cleaner. So then I went on to YouTube and I was like, how to clean windows, and I was looking at a couple of ads or a couple of videos, and I was like, that looks pretty easy. So I kind of went out, googled where to buy the equipment, which is out of a house in Tala in Old Bawn. Tower Enterprise, Pat and Nolene went down with €50, bought a bucket, a squeegee, and borrowed a ladder. Didn't even have money to buy a ladder, had to borrow one, and went into a Toyota Yaris and just started driving around, knocking on doors. Do you want your windows cleaned? Do you want your windows cleaned? Do you want your windows cleaned? Hundreds of times a day. So that was the start of it. It was like picking an estate. So I pick not an estate too big or too small. I try to get in the middle. Do you know, a 3-4 bed semi-detached house, and just knocked on every single door. At the start it was tough. Like, at the start I was in a tracksuit. I was young, I had a squeegee, I wouldn't have let me clean my windows. So if I knocked on my door, I'd say no. So then I kind of learned, look, I have to get a bit more professional about things and look the part, and start getting leaflets made up. And it's just a slow, how can I get more and more? And then you get busy enough that you don't have to knock on doors anymore.
You started your own business for €50.
Yeah.
What's the value of the business right now?
In terms of value,
because I'm interested, as we discussed.
Value, there's different ways you can value a company, so I'm not sure on value, but in terms of revenue, so revenue last year was, since we went full-time, revenue in 2021 was about 300,000. Last year, 2022, was 600, and then this year we're on course to make at least 1.1 million, but it'll be between 1.1 and 1.2
Like
million.
3 times you make it in a year, almost 2 years. You double of it.
Yeah, we've kind of doubled year on
Say
year.
1.2 million is stuff 2020. You know, like you make 300,000 euro.
Yeah.
And then now 1.2 million.
Yeah, so we've doubled kind of year on year, because it went from kind of originally, I think 2020 was 90,000, so it kind of went 90, 300, 600, 1.2, so it's doubled.
Is that COVID-19 affect you or anything?
It affected us in a good way. We were busy because we were cleaning. Cleaning was obviously a big thing. We kind of had to pivot a little bit because, do you know, at the start of COVID-19, there was nobody wanted you near their house. You know, if we're doing residential cleans, they didn't want you there. So we had to kind of we started a service of disinfecting, disinfect misting. So we were we did a few nursing homes, gyms, building sites were still kind of open. So if there was a COVID-19 case, it was like a reactive service. The foreman of a building site would ring us or ring me and say, you know, we've had a case here, we've had to shut down. They used to have to shut down the building site. We'd go out, we'd guarantee we'd get there within 3 hours of any time when you're ringing us. So he'd ring us within 3 hours, we'd get there, we'd spray every room like this, we'd spray this room down with the disinfectant, you'd leave it for half an hour, and then it was safe to use. So that's what we were busy doing that during COVID-19. And then the domestic side, because, you know, hotels were closed, so hotel was closed, wasn't open. They were all reopening then, so they all wanted everything clean, so we'd be really busy with that. So,
like, are you cleaning the inside the room or outside the building?
We'd be mostly exterior.
Exterior.
Yeah, so we'd be mostly exterior. Like window cleaning would be our big one. So it'd be window cleaning, gutter cleaning. We do power washing, roof cleaning, all that stuff. Then, in terms of internal, we do like carpet cleaning, hard floor cleaning, chimney cleaning. But we'd be 95% outside.
90% outside.
Yeah, we rather that because it's just easier.
What was the hardest part?
Hiring, getting staff. Yeah, staff is still the hardest part.
Why?
Finding like every business in the world, finding good people is hard. As I said to you upstairs, finding people who want to go outside on a January morning to work with water is not.
It's cold.
Oh, it's cold. Yeah, it's not easy, and the stuff is freezing. If it's below zero, the van is full of water, and all the lines, all the hoses, everything's full of water. Everything freezes. So the guys have a kettle and they have a heater, and then they have to turn the generator on in the morning, plug the kettle in, and start pouring it over to try and defrost stuff. It's not easy, like, so it's only a very small percentage of people will do that kind of work. So now they're paid very well for it, but it's difficult to find people. That kind of makes, we usually lose 2 or 3 people during the winter because they're just like, this is too hard. But it's the guys that you keep during the winter that will be brilliant during the summer because they're like, geez, this is a walk in the park.
Would the staff is stay in the winter time, would you look after them?
Yeah, we would, the best we can. See, they don't do long, the thing about working outside is they don't do long days in the winter because it gets dark at 4.
Yeah.
So usually the guys, they might stay out till 6, half 6 if they wanted to finish the work during the summer. During the winter, you can't. So the days are shorter. Like this morning, for instance, there was a storm yesterday, and it was, again, tough work. Like, so this morning we brought them all in and had a breakfast. So instead of them starting at the first job at 8, we met them at a cafe and we all had breakfast for an hour. So stuff like that, to, you know, keep morale as high as we can. But biggest challenge is staff, is getting and retaining staff.
When you talk about the staff, like you say, it's hard to get the staff. Like, how do you find yourself? Do you ring agency to find the staff, or you add it in social media to get a staff? Like, how did you hire the staff? Yeah,
so different channels. So like my view on staff is you need to be constantly hiring. So always hiring. So like, even if we're fully stocked with lads, we've no space, I'll still take on someone, give them a trial, see how they go, because it's just, in Ireland especially, and in that sort of business, there's a constant just turnover of staff, you know. So you might be fully stocked, and all of a sudden in 1 week you get 3 notices handed in, and then you're down 3 vans. So I'm always kind of hiring. We find them through referrals are a big one for me, where if I can get a referral from you, you know, or someone who's working for me, if he refers his brother or his brother-in-law or his cousin, they're always very, valuable because they're not a stranger. They're someone in your company is vouching for them. That's a big thing. So we pay a referral fee to the lads if they can find someone for us. Other than that, we'd be using social media. We use Indeed a lot to kind of hire as well. And but the thing about using online ads and stuff, you get a huge volume, and like you could get 500 CVs and only 4 of them are any use. The rest are just terrible. You know, people are just apply to everything that they see. So it's very time consuming going through them. Agencies have used as well. Agencies have used for the higher, the kind of, I suppose, the more office staff and the kind of managers and stuff. We'd use agencies for that sort of stuff, but not for the guys out on the road. Yeah.
And how many vans do you have on the road?
10 vans. We put our 10th van. Yeah.
And then how many staff?
We've between kind of 13 and 15.
Is that each staff has his own routine to them to go in one places, or now are you changing the road?
Yeah, so it's with 10 vans. So we've 10 vans on the road, and each van has obviously a driver, so he's a main operative. So they'd be kind of 10 guys. We then have kind of helpers. So we've a couple of vans who would have a second person for doing big jobs. So they have their route. So we set the route in the office. So in the office there is 4 of us, and soon to be 5, and we'll set their route, and then they get it on their phone, and the next day they'll have all their jobs, and it's up to them then to do their own route. You know, they decide where they're going to go and what they're going to do. And each job they get to, then, you know, it says on the app what they need to do. They do the job, it says the payment, all that sort of stuff. So it's all linked through an app that we use, a CRM system. So they kind of choose their own. Like if one guy is living in Castleknock, it'll suit him better to start over here than over here. So they have that freedom. We give them the list of work, like a worksheet. They decide how they do it or what way to do it. So that's how it works. They're paid based on the work that they do as well. So they're not on a set rate.
Salary, no.
No. So that was a kind of game changer.
That's a bit hard for them, no? You can. Or which way is going to be easier for them, the salary or per job?
It depends on the person. I had guys on salary on a day rate, and the biggest problem was not getting work done. So I was getting a call every day, 4, half 4. Look, boss, we're not going to get this done. It's this delay, that delay, because they were, no matter what they got done, they were paid the same rate, whether they burst their bollocks that day and got loads done, or whether they spent 2 hours in the toilet on their phone. You know, I wasn't on site, it was hard to know. So that was the biggest problem. We weren't getting through work. It then switched it around so that they're, like, legally they all have a minimum rate, you know, but none of them should be on that minimum rate. It should be always
And what's the hours they have to work daily basis?
So they start at 8, and when they're finished their work, they're finished. So if they finish at 3 o'clock, happy days.
Finish 12, they can go home.
Finish 12, we get them to ring us because we might be able to drop more jobs onto them. So the thing is, a lot of the lads, they want to finish, like they need to get through the work because they know it's linked to their pay. So the problem I have now is, if they have a problem on a job, they're not ringing saying, I'm not going to get this done. They're ringing saying, someone get out here to help me fix this equipment, I need to get back working. So that's the problem now, is making sure that the guys have fully functioning vans and work to go to.
I think that's the good things though. Like if a man really interested, you want to finish his job, I need a backup, we need to finish it today.
That's the problems you want.
That's the good complaint, that's a very good complaint.
So that's kind of that's switched it around. So now there's a certain type of person. There's two sort of staff members that we get in. There's guys who are used to just clocking in and clocking out and doing very little and probably hiding a bit in their job, you know. Like if they're coming from warehouses and stuff, it's very easy to hide, whereas so when they come into this job, then they get a big shock. Whereas there's other guys who want to get in early. Like we tell them, don't start before 8 o'clock, because 8 a.m. is the start. If you're starting at someone's house, they don't want you there before 8. The guys will be there 7:30, looking, are they awake, kind of go up, knock on the door. Like, that's the type of guy you want, is he's out early, wants to get everything done. That's the two type of people we get. One just wants to clock in and clock out. They don't last more than a week. Whereas the other dudes who want to come in, I keep saying dudes, it's because we've no women. Nothing against them coming in, just we haven't had any women.
Everything's man jobs, right? Everything man's like.
Yeah,
and the woman takes all the credit. We did the hard work and they won't take the credit.
But it's the thing is, the lads that have like, we've some poles that go up 70 feet, so 70 stories. So you're on the bottom of that. Like tomorrow we're doing a job in the city centre along the Lewis, and it's 7 stories. So we've 6 stories. So we've a 70-foot pole. So even most strong men would struggle to hold that pole, especially with a bit of wind. Like it'll like if it falls, it's 70 feet is a long way. Like, so I just don't know if I haven't come across a woman yet who would be able to do that. If I do, she's hired, you know, but I haven't yet. So like even some of the lads that we have, they can't hold that 70-foot pole. They have to go for smaller poles because it's tough work, especially with a bit of wind.
Yeah, like especially like in the winter time, like right now, you know, like it's very, very hard. But as you say, like a 7 foot, you have to hold that pole, you know, just wind as well, and a cold in the meantime, you know. Yeah,
so it's tough work, but it's rewarding work. Like the lads all love it. Like the guys that we have that are here, that, you know, last that kind of 2-3 month period. Once they're in and settled, they fly, like, and they make a lot of money for you know, for the work that they're doing.
Did you think when you start this business, because you only invest like a €50, you know, did you ever think you become this high level of the market?
Yeah, I kind of did. I always wanted to bring a bit, like if it wasn't window cleaning, if it was something else, if it was making teacups, I always wanted to do it, you know, go big and keep growing, you know. So I think when I started out, I was trying to see, you know, is there space for this to grow? And I suppose early on I realised that there was, because I was picking up a lot of work quite easily. So I was like, this is cool. Like, so I suppose, yeah, I did. I kind of knew that we would be. I didn't think it would grow this fast, this quick. I thought it would be, you know, maybe at this stage when I'm kind of late 30s, 40s with kids type of thing, whereas it's kind of gone in the space of 3 full-time years. It's exploded. So I wasn't expecting it to grow as quick, definitely not, but it was. I was always expecting it to grow to this size.
And then what's the most, do you think, is any competition against you in the market?
Like, because
there's other like cleaning companies we know, and you know, and I know.
Yeah.
And then, do you think, can you go against them?
Yeah.
Are you doing a better job?
Yeah, I think we're different in that. Like window cleaning and gutter cleaning, or cleaning in general in Ireland, is it's very much based around one-man bands. So, you know, one man with his van, maybe a second guy to help him, or, you know, 1 to 2 employees is the norm. That's across the board. There's a lot of them. So we'd be obviously, you know, we'd be a lot more professional, and we've fully branded vans, fully uniformed technicians, all that sort of stuff. So we're definitely kind of doing a much better job than them guys. In terms of what our competition now, I suppose, is we're moving into the territory of the much bigger companies, you know, the companies that are doing, you know, they're what you'd call groups that are kind of doing, you know, big facilities management companies. That's who we're coming up against now in terms of pricing kind of commercial work. So a few kind of well-known commercial, massive companies, big corporations, global corporations, we're quoting for them, and we're up against these huge names in facilities management. So that's kind of where we're at now. The challenge now is tackling them. I think in terms of kind of window cleaning, gutter cleaning companies, we've conquered that market now, definitely in Dublin.
Do you contact the company, or they contact you?
They contact us. We're so busy that, like, I used to do a lot of cold calling, you know, even going into business or ringing them and doing stuff. We've just this year, so busy that I don't even have time to kind of do that. So it's all inbound stuff. A lot of referrals. So we get referred on, you know, we'll do
job to job.
Yeah, so we'll do one hotel. Say we do a big hotel in Dublin City. We do a good job. The following week, we'll have calls from 3 other hotels, you know, in and around there. Like we do 2 big hotels in Temple Bar, and from that, so from the first one we got the second one. From the second one we got another one. From that one we got 2 out in Naas, because a lot of them are owned by the one chain, or they all talk to each other. So that's how we pick up a huge amount of commercial work.
Is that because you're doing a great job, Or is that the price wise you're cheaper?
I don't think we're much cheaper. We'd be usually coming in on the slightly higher end of the scale in terms of pricing, but that's because they're getting a really good service. So that's kind of, I think we pick up a lot because we're very easy to deal with. We do a really good job. We come in because we've a few vans. We can go in instead of kind of Dave in his van taking 2 weeks to clean the hotel's windows. We can go in and have it done in the morning because we can just get 5 vans there. The lads just blitz the whole place and we're gone. So that's what they really like, is there's very little hassle, you know. Like, we're doing a big private school out in Kildare recently, and they kept telling us how long the job was going to take. They were like, you know, it's like I was kind of telling them, look, we'll get it done in a day, and they were like, no, this usually takes, you know, at least a week. And I was like, I had a price for a day with 4 vans. I was like, no, we'll get it done in a day. Like, and they were like, oh, right. And they kept 3 or 4 times they brought it up that they thought we had underdone it. We went in and we got it done in like 5 hours or something. So
it was a hotel.
It was a huge private school.
Private school, right?
Yeah, so it was like school dorms. It was a boarding school. So we got it done in like 5 hours. They couldn't believe it. Like, so we just have kind of capacity to move in, get stuff done, and go on the next. So that's what we do it. We do a huge volume of work, like, yeah.
Right. You build as a great team, and then you have that value of the team and a van. A big job, you just push everything on one go and done the job. Like, and I'm very surprised for that person. Like, you make it for a 5 hour. And the last cleaner he did fucking for a week. For a week, yeah. And by the time he's like, it just kind of. And he got the same money, probably a little bit more money as well. Yeah, but it's the same money. Like, we'd be coming in, say we come in at the same. We're in and out. Obviously, more costs because there's more staff. But over the course of the week, it doesn't matter. I could easily just put a van there for the week, and it would take him a week. But we kind of move in, finish, move on. Like, so we're doing kind of big volume of stuff. So. What's the job like you regret taking? A job I regret taking. Yeah. A job we're on at the minute. Well, no, you can't name it. You just say a hotel or a building or a school. Yeah, there's been 2 this year. 2 this year. Yeah, 2 big ones, and the one we're actually currently on, and it's just turning into an absolute nightmare. Why? What was that? Just, do you know where there's cowboy companies, cowboy builders, cowboy cleaners, there's cowboy customers as well. Oh. So we just, in this big job, so this job it's a big contract for us, and it's just been a disaster. So like, we went in, for instance, the windows hadn't been cleaned here in I think 10 years, and I'd said it to them, you know, the windows are in very bad condition. It will be difficult to get these perfect again. I don't think it's possible. They're old windows. They were like, yeah, grand. Emailed over the quote. They said, yeah, go ahead. And this job was going to take us about 2 weeks because it was huge. So we went in, and there was permits that we had to get and all sorts of stuff. So we went in and did the clean. Long and behold, the windows didn't clean up right. There was loads of permanent stuff that you know, were cleaning 5 and 6 times after the job. Then went, you know, to explain, no, we're not happy with this. You have to go all over all the windows again. And I said, look, we explained beforehand this was going to happen. Like, we do a really good job, so we were very confident. We've cleaned each window 4 times. Clean them another twice isn't going to make a difference. It's all permanent stuff. Like, no, you have to clean them all again. And they're withholding a massive amount of money. Like, so there was no leeway, no middle, no nothing. You have to redo it again. Have to redo it again. So that's what we're doing at the minute. And I've told them, I was like, we'll redo this again. They aren't going to look any better. So I need the guarantee that we will be paid at the end of it. And even we got a 50% deposit up front for this job, but we're still, because we have to go and do everything again, we're at a loss. But I have to still try and get that other 50%. So that's what we're on at the minute, is a massive headache. So that's the problem with you regret that one? Oh, big time, yeah. Like, I'd rather do 500 small houses and get the same money as this one, because it's just a headache, and the amount of time you spend on emails and site visits and blah blah blah. So that's one I regret. One at the start of the year was similar. It was for a massive I can't name them, but what would you call them? A store, a supermarket. Did work for them. Same story. Just the thing about cleaning is, like
like this wall, you know, if you were to clean it, it'll come up better, yeah, but you're gonna have stuff, permanent stains left on stuff. 99% of people will understand that. We'll do whatever we can. We're not there to perform miracles. Like we'll clean it the best we can. We'll do whatever we can, but there may be stuff that we just can't clean. And as I say, most people understand that. Some people don't. They're just unreasonable. But at the end of the day, they're the ones who pay us, so we have to try and make them happy.
Right. And what would the next job you're looking for to get it?
What's the next job I'm hoping to get?
Yeah.
A big job down in the Docklands in Dublin City. That's a big one we're looking at.
You can call them.
Huh?
You can tell the names, okay.
Yeah, it's Google.
It's Google.
Google, yeah.
Yeah, just ask them, just tell them like you can call you.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah, so they got in touch with us. It was a facilities management company to look after all of their stuff. So they've 3 huge buildings down at the Docklands, and they're all connected by a bridge in the middle. It's cool, like it's like these huge big buildings. I think they're very high, and then they're all connected with a bridge in the middle. So they've contacted us, so we're in the middle of quoting for that. It's probably the biggest job we'll do, biggest company anyway. I don't think it gets much bigger, but they be the biggest job that we'll do. If we get it, may not get it. You know, it's a huge job.
I can call them if you want.
Yeah, yeah. Can you?
I know the 2 manager.
Right.
We can call them, but what's for us?
Yeah.
I don't move with no profit, you know.
Yeah,
what's for?
Look, we'll sort that out. No problem.
Christmas coming soon, you know.
But yeah, that's a big one we're hoping to get. It's a few big quotes we're doing for other big supermarkets and big shopping centres and stuff. That's what we're moving into now, is that big scale stuff. So still don't know if it's the right thing to do either. Like, it all looks great, and you're looking at the money, and you're looking at your profit margin, and you're thinking, geez, that looks fantastic. But then you're actually in the job, and there's just so much to go wrong, and all it takes is just 1 or 2 things to go wrong. That's it, profit gone. Like that job we're on at the minute, we have to do everything again. You didn't budget for that, so that's profit, and that is gone. So that's the problem with the big jobs. Your smaller jobs, you're in, you're out. If there's a mistake,
still making money anyway.
Huh?
You still make from that job anyway.
Yeah. Make a small bit, yeah. But yeah.
Do you have a plan? You can build 2 different systems. You can have like one team only for big company, and you can have other team for like houses.
Yeah, that's something that we might have to look at.
That's advice for most of you, you know.
Yeah, that's something I might have to do, because it's very difficult for us and for the lads sometimes to swap between doing a semi-detached house in Tala, and then the next job is Google. Do you know, it's difficult. The health and safety, every single thing is completely different. They're 2 completely different jobs. Even though you're cleaning windows on both, they're completely different. So we might maybe have to look at, I know a company who we've got staff from do that. They have their residential side, and then they've the commercial, and the commercial is set up for that, because they have the beacons on the vans, they've all their health and safety gear. Now we have all that, it's difficult to organise because they're swapping between different ones. So it might be something we look at, where we have to start splitting crews, you know, where we have a commercial crew, residential crew.
And what's the plan in 2024? What's your goal in 2024? What do you want to achieve in 2024?
Yeah, that's something we're actually working on at the minute, in terms of me and my general manager Igor. We're working on targets. So we've doubled, you know, revenue year on year. As we get to the size we are now, it's going to get pretty hard to keep doing that. Like, if we're to double next year, we'd have to go to 2.4 million. That would mean all of a sudden going to 20 vans, you know, so it's going to get hard to keep doubling. So we're kind of looking at a happy medium between between good growth, but also keeping the profit margin good, because, you know, we can have revenues of 4 million if we want. It doesn't mean we're going to make anything. Like, we can pump as much into vans and leaflets and marketing and everything, and we'd get big revenues, but the margins will be small. So we're kind of trying to find a happy medium in 2024 between, you know, improving revenues to, we're thinking kind of between maybe 1.5 and 1.8 million, and getting our
what's the profit if you say 1.5 million? What's the profit there?
So we're hoping to get to around 20-25%. 30% is 30 or 33% is like, you know, that's the goal for any kind of company like ours. That's where you want to be hitting. So that's kind of the way we want to break it down is 33% costs, 33% staff, so labour, 33% profit. That's what we're kind of aiming for. Now, to do that at 1.5 million, the company is going to be worth a lot of money because that's a really, really well operating company. We're not there yet. Like I if we did 20% margin next year, I'd be absolutely delighted.
Do you accept any shareholder?
Huh?
Do you accept shareholder?
Not yet. No.
Why not?
I haven't looked into it. I've been offered it. Not offered it. I've been asked by people. Yeah, yeah, you included, and some other dudes as well in business have. Wanted to meet up and have a chat about it and stuff like that. I suppose I don't feel like I need. Now this might be a stupid thing to say. I don't feel like I need the investment right now.
Why not?
I'm still working out the nuts and bolts.
You can get it bigger and bigger if you have like a team with you. You can.
I suppose I'm still working out because this company's so new. Everything is every day something changes. Like we'll have a way of doing things that will take me 2 months to put together, and then next thing we'll add 2 more vans, and I'm like, this is fucking useless now, we have to do it this way. So like we're still very much in the startup phase. I think maybe as soon as I get out of that, it will be something I'd maybe look at. So I suppose I'm still kind of figuring stuff out. Like I only took on the general manager a few months ago. That's all new. Before that I was running everything, whereas now I'm kind of looking to step back I have stepped back. He's running everything now, and I'm focusing on growth and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of only very new. So we're still in the, what would you call it?
The process.
The infancy stage of the business, yeah. So once we're kind of out of that, which next year I think we will, because things will settle a bit. Well, I hope they will, and we'll settle and we're getting a new premises and stuff. So once that's all kind of in the works, then we'd look to do something like that. That's kind of where I'm stepping back now to start looking at, as I was saying to you, property and other stuff. Do you know what I mean? And kind of let the company grow and build up. And I'm still heavily involved in it, but I want to start doing some other stuff as well.
How long did it take you to be at this level of your life? Since the day you started your business, because I want other people can learn from you. If you did it, the other people can do that. Probably is better than that. Better than you and me, like it's small 2023 generation. They are what better smarter, And then how long take you to be at this level? Yeah,
so I suppose it was kind of like in kind of 2020. I made the decision to kind of go all in on it. Whereas before that, I was kind of just arsing around doing part time and wasn't really taking it too serious because I was in college and it was just earning me a few bob for drinking pints, really. But then once I finished college, that was kind of 2019 into 2020, I kind of started to go hard at it. So it was kind of, what we want to, would be about 3 years.
So less than 3 years, and now you have freedom. Yeah. If you did this, how you start this business, anybody else can start a different business. Yeah. But they need to put the time. Just for the first 3 years, they worked hard. That's what you did. Yeah. And now, like in less than 3 years, you have a more freedom for yourself. You hired a group of manager, area manager, general manager, staff, the office, and then you want to look from the back. What's next there for you to start your own business, business?
Yeah, it's definitely doable. It's doable for anybody. Like like people think, this is something I actually did a video on recently. People think they need to invent the next fucking microphone or the next, big thing or app or do something really complicated, or that's to grow to that level you need to do something like that. Like I did it with window cleaning. Like it doesn't get any simpler than that. You
start with the €50.
Yeah, exactly.
And then now your network is over like a 3 million.
Yeah, so
your company worth 3 million, right?
Yeah. So that was done with window cleaning.
And less than 3 years, you done this. Yeah. There's other 10,000 of business up there. Anybody can start it.
Yeah. It's just work. It was just hard work. There was no luck involved. Nothing ever went.
There's no prediction. There is no luck. You just knock every single door.
There was no one there to kind of. There was no particular reason. I didn't have a long history of family window cleaners or anything. It was just completely out. Like anyone can do it. Like if you decided tomorrow that you were going to start importing these from China and selling them, and you went 14 hours a day, 6-7 days a week, flat out for 3 years, there is no reason you wouldn't be the largest whatever this is, seller in Europe. Do you know what I mean? They can do anything you put your hand to. If you put in the work, and don't get distracted and don't think, oh, maybe I should have done this, or I might start doing this business as well as my own one. Like, just, I was like laser focused. This is what I'm doing. This is the plan. Every day I'd wake up, write out the plan for that day. Every month, what's the plan for this month? I was just, still am laser focused on what I'm doing, and then putting massive work in. And that's kind of what got me to here.
When I'm talking to you, like we talked before the show started, I think if you lose this company today, totally zero, with no income, and I believe like you can, next 3 years time, you'll be the same level of your life, because you have a tendency to work and focus what you want to achieve on your goal. Yeah. And this is really nice as a young man you are, you know. Yeah. It's sort of, if you look at the other young man, they do just clubbing, partying, and then doing fuck all nothing, you know, and they keep complaining, oh, we have no money, rent is too expensive, market is too expensive, and then you are sitting as a multi-millionaire like, and you're not chilling.
Yeah, it's because of the age I am. A lot of my friends.
You don't need to say your age, because the girls, you know, just they're gonna watch you. They're gonna track you from now on. You know?
Yeah. But I'm in my 20s, so I know, you know, my generation or my age, as you say, they do just complain. You know, they'll go out on a Friday and a Saturday. You know, they'll watch football all Saturday after being hungover. They'll order pizza, they'll go out again Saturday, they'll watch football on Sunday, and then on Monday they'll be like, oh, fucking, I'm never going to own my own house.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not.
Exactly, you're fucking spending a money like, and you hang over like...
Like, these dudes here are here at this time of night, you know, they're working hard. Like we're here late, like, that isn't a common trait at all.
And they are very young man, to be honest. They're a very, very young man. And
like, that's what you kind of need, is that kind of, you know, so what if it's whatever, 9, 10, it's work, you know. So
we start like I leave the house by 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's still, I didn't go home yet.
Yeah.
Like, even after this show, we're going to stay a little bit, have a good conversation with the boys, and, and then we take it over.
Yeah.
If you give one advice for younger yourself, if the people lazy, they want to start something, and they complaining, oh, this is too scary, I'm going to lose money, I'm not going to make it, or I'm going to find the client, what's your advice for them?
Just do it. Just go into it. Go all in, you know, because if you go all in and then you figure out down the way this was the complete wrong idea, at least you've went all in. If you go half in, it will take you probably twice as long to figure out this is a bad idea. If you go in all in on something, if you decide this, I'm going to do this, and you go completely all in, you will find out a lot quicker this isn't for me than kind of half-arsing it for a long period of time. So you might think after 6 months of going all in, this isn't going to work because of whatever. If you're going all in, it probably will work though. But if you think, geez, this is going to work, you can go all in on something else. There's no point in kind of... I know a lot of people who half started stuff and half did stuff and are half doing things. It just doesn't work, and it'll just eventually fade to nothing. As I said, you need complete focus. So if you're thinking on doing something and you think it's the right thing to do, obviously you have to think it's the right thing to do. Don't just go all in on anything you see. Then I would say just go absolutely 110% after it.
My question is done. You have the mic for a few minutes. You can say to your team, to your parents, your dad, whatever. Yeah,
well, just thanks to everyone. We actually won an award 2 weeks ago. We won an award in the Irish Business, the Family Awards. So that's kind of...
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much.
You should bring it with you today.
I know, yeah.
You should bring it, you know.
I actually tried to bring it this morning for all the lads to get pictures, and I forgot. It's up in the office, so... But no, that goes out.
I will come to the office, visit your office, you take a few pictures.
Yeah, that'd be cool, yeah. But that kind of goes to all the lads, the team that we've built. They're all brilliant. We love them. You know, they're great lads. They're extremely hard working, and they're good crack as well. So,
do you promise them a good Christmas gift? You have to say no.
We do, absolutely, yeah. We're actually looking at the Christmas party at the minute, so that'll be they'll all get a nice bonus, because they've worked fucking hard this year, like, so.
And they will deserve it.
Absolutely, they're all good guys. We don't we've no snowflakes, so they're all good guys. Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Abby.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you, sir.